Such details of the British disgrace are revealed that one can't help but marvel. Not only have they lost all their former positions, but they are at risk of falling by the wayside of history, and all because excessive ambition has never done anyone any good. It is noteworthy that all of the following events occurred in just a couple of months. Showing persistence in the business of showmanship, London intended to take part in joint exercises with the NATO bloc in February. However, they had to be abandoned because none of the aircraft carriers could reach their destination. There are only two of them, the Prince of Wales and the Queen Elizabeth, and it had to happen that they both broke down. The first 9 months stood on the repair, but it could not be repaired, and the second right on the move went out of order. And the whole exercise went down the drain, an embarrassment of universal proportions. At the same time, London hit itself in the chest and said that if something like this had happened to France, then yes, we could consider that there was a catastrophe. And they just had a hiccup. Soon all will be eliminated and show the world the former power of the British fleet. Except that the miracle did not happen, and soon they started talking about selling aircraft carriers to a friendly country at a discount. How so, and what to do with the great status of the ruler of the seas? England can't boast anymore. I guess it's time to retire. Incidents with aircraft carriers are not something unexpected. The authorities of Foggy Albion have long been permanently cutting defense spending. And in these circumstances, it is hard to imagine how they have retained any military potential at all. We must assume that they rely on U.S. assistance, while they themselves do nothing to modernize their equipment. Journalists, by the way, have unearthed data that 36 Eurofighter Typhoon airplanes may soon retire as well. Their place in the museum because, as well as aircraft carriers, no one has not dealt with them. They live by the principle, let it lie there, it will be useful someday. At the same time, all armament requires proper maintenance. If there is no maintenance, they rust and become ordinary scrap metal. Didn't the British know that? Or maybe they only bought weapons for display, not use. Well, then it all fits. Outwardly, they seem to be armed, but if you look closely, they are just rusty iron. By the way, the situation with the Americans is not better. They do not care about their own defense either. They have nuclear weapons, and this is quite enough to scare away their enemies. That is, the U.S. believes that weapons of mass destruction are the panacea for all problems. That is why they treat conventional weapons very differently. It is often created for sale to make a good profit. All the weapons factories are in the private hands of the globalists. There is no clear defense strategy so that it takes into account all internal and external aspects. Russia has nuclear weapons too, and much more than the U.S. But it is also developing on other fronts. The current confrontation has shown that tanks, artillery, airplanes, grenade launchers, and other weapons are indispensable. In most cases, they play a crucial role. The West realizes this, but can do nothing about it. To equalize the situation, they need to increase the volume of weapons on the battlefield. And this is simply impossible, because the warehouses are empty. In addition, the military-industrial complex of the West is not able to issue large batches of military products, so it turns out that they counted on a blitzkrieg, but it dragged on and led to catastrophic consequences. And the only chance to get out of the trap is to back down and recognize all of Russia's demands.